In today's video, we'll be doing a year in review for my triathlon 2021 racing season. Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm Josh, medical student and age group triathlete. On this channel, we talk triathlon training, shoe reviews, some vlogging and everything in between. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing. But in today's video, we'll be going over how triathlon went for me in 2021. I think the best way to go about this is to do it in roughly a chronological order, tough word to say. So at the start of the year, it was a pretty slow start for me. I really wasn't training very much. I took quite a lot of time off over Christmas and towards the start of January. I was only training about 6, 7, maybe 8 hours a week, which for me, it's not a lot. It's about half as much as I otherwise would in the main bulk of my season. And during that start of the season, I was barely swimming. I think I went 3, maybe 4 weeks without swimming. And then I was just cycling and running, but mainly cycling because I'm not a massive fan of running, and cycling was really what I wanted to do at that point. And this was still really true up until kind of May, when I last minute booked myself into the Bedfordshire Triathlon about 2 weeks before. And you can see the full video up in the corner about that one. But overall, I really started to ramp up my training a couple of weeks before that race. And I ramped it up to about 10 hours and I was still only swimming twice a week at that point. And this kind of lack of swimming is really going to become quite a mainstay of my things that I learned in this triathlon racing season. But then we had Bedfordshire Triathlon at the end of May, having come off what I would consider not a very intense or optimal training block. However, this was a really good race. I found that it was significantly better than my first triathlon a couple of years prior. I'm just going to read off my results from this race. I did a 27-minute swim, a 1:10 bike, and a 45-minute run. So that's a 2:29 total, including my transitions, beating my previous personal best of 3 hours and 7 minutes from a couple of years before that race. And to put that in perspective, I was 21st of the 104 people in the race, and I was second in my age group of 12 people. I was over the moon when I got this race result. I felt like nothing could have gone better on the day. However, on reflection, I definitely could have done some better training, especially in that swimming and cycling department leading up to this race. And I think that's something that I really took into my next races. After Bedfordshire, I kind of continued at roughly the same amount of training, kind of coming up to 10 hours most weeks until July, when I decided that I was going to try and qualify for age group world championships as part of the GB team. And I was going to do that at the London Triathlon at the start of August. So July was a huge month. It's probably the most training I've ever done in a single month. I was averaging 16 to 17 hours pretty much every week. They were very huge week for me. However, I was still only swimming 2 or 3 times a week. So having had 10 weeks of pretty good training between Bedfordshire and London, my results improved significantly, and London still today is my personal best when it comes to triathlon, and I'm really proud of this one. Again, I'm just gonna read off the swim time was 24:35, the bike was a 1:03, and the run was a 41:06, totaling 2:15 including transitions, putting me 79th out of 430 people and 4th in my age group qualifier out of 12 people again. And this was enough to secure me a spot at age group world championships next year. I was one of the first to come out of the water in my age group race, and I felt like I was very confident at that point. However, my bike was much better than before, but I still think it could have been significantly better, as I was in the lower part of the bike times for my age group. And so although it's significantly better than the 1:11 that I did at Bedfordshire 10 weeks earlier, I think that's mainly due to Bedfordshire being a slightly hillier course, and I think the London course may have been slightly short as well. The main reason that my swimming improved without actually putting any more hours into swimming each week was that I started swimming with a couple of other people who were significantly better than me, and I've continued to swim with them throughout the rest of the year. And right now, although my final triathlon race result definitely doesn't show my improvement in swimming, I think that I could easily beat any of my previous triathlon swim times. I continued at pretty much the same amount of training, about 15 hours a week, for the remainder of August up until September, which was my busiest racing season month so far, and probably ever. I raced 3 times in September: a 10k, an Olympic distance triathlon, and a 5k. First up was the 10k. I did the London Summer 10k, and that was an amazing event. It's the first ever 10k on its own that I've actually run. All my other ones have been in a triathlon. So this was the first chip-timed race 10k that I'd ever done. I didn't really know what to expect. Having just run 41:06 at London, I was really excited to try and get under 40 minutes. However, I didn't know if that would be possible. However, I managed a 38:37 and I was absolutely blown away by this. It was considerably faster than I was expecting to go. I thought if I was going to get under 40 minutes, I would like sneak in with like a 39:55, a 39:58 or something. Like, really, I didn't expect to come in that fast, and that was an amazing feeling because although it was a very large race, it's not a very competitive race, and so I think I came in the top 20 for that race, and that's out of 2,000 people. Also, a huge shout out to my mum for doing that race with me, and she beat her personal best, which was set many years before, so shout out mum, really good job there, and you can see the full video of that again in the corner. My third and final Olympic distance triathlon for the year 2021 was the Dorney Lake season finale, which was right smack bang in the middle of September, 2 weeks after that 10k. This was a little bit more for fun and to get more triathlon experience, and I can definitely say that I was a little bit too burnt out for this triathlon. I think I've been training too much for too long, and I really needed a break, having been training for about 3.5 to 4 months pretty continuously at this point. However, my results weren't bad by any means. I had a 25:20 swim, a 1:11 bike, and a 41:58 run. So I was definitely feeling some of that fatigue, which I think is why my results weren't quite as good as what they were at London. However, I'm not disappointed because this was an amazing experience to come up against a couple of other guys within my age group, part of the GB team, and to see how they race and to really learn a lot from them. And even though I sound like it wasn't great, I still am very pleased with my performance. I came 14th out of the 292 people doing the Olympic distance, and 8th in my age group out of 66 people. And again, a massive shout out to my mum, who did her first ever triathlon, and you can see the full video up there again. My arm's gonna get tired doing that. And my final race of September and my final race of the year was the Hackney 5k, and I was really unsure if I was going to do this one. This was taking place only 6 days on the Saturday after the Dorney Lake triathlon, and I actually come across quite a bad back injury in that triathlon, and so I was unsure if I was going to run it. I hadn't done any running all week. I was pretty much just doing some light swimming and a little bit of cycling on the turbo, just trying to keep a little bit of fitness while letting my back rest, as it was pretty constantly spasming. However, on the Saturday I woke up, felt pretty good. The race didn't start until 12, so I thought I may as well go over, just warm up a little bit and see how it went, as I was not living too far from the race start. I warmed up, I felt alright, and I gave it my best, and I'm really pleased that I did, because I managed to absolutely smash my previous 5k personal best. I managed to run a time of 17:53, which was good enough for 14th out of the 2,029 people doing it. And look, man, I'm absolutely psyched. It was a sick race. I'm really glad that I did it. I was not expecting to run that fast. Running fast like that is definitely not my forte, and so to come away with a time like that when I haven't been training for that kind of distance feels amazing. And yeah, clearly I got some sort of speed, so let's see how much of that carries into my 2022 season. And you can see the full video for that race up in the corner again for one last time. But yeah, that race would be my last one of the year, and since then I've really just been trying to do things to enjoy myself for the rest of the triathlon season, heading into the off season. I've kept training a fair amount simply because I feel like I can maintain a level of volume around 12 to 13 hours a week without too much added fatigue on my body. I've mainly been focusing on like lots of group rides and runs, things with other people to allow me to socialise a little bit more, which I definitely miss out on in my regular triathlon training, and all those kind of fun things that I don't necessarily get to do. And a massive focus since my last race has been my swimming. I've never been terrible at swimming, but I'm definitely far off the best when it comes to triathlon. And I really feel like what I've been doing is starting my races feeling tired, feeling like crap, and not actually performing my best because I've been held back by my swim. I want to breeze through the swim, be able to conserve some energy instead of feeling like crap and not wanting to keep going through the halfway through the swim. So since that final race, I've done 9 continuous weeks of swimming 5 times a week and doing 3K each time. And I really am improving fast. To put it in perspective, I normally do 2000s at least once a week as kind of a threshold and also a benchmarking set. And before my last race of the year, before the Dorney Lake Triathlon in mid-September, I was averaging 135s off 145, and now I can easily average 122, 123 going off 140, and I'm hoping to bring that down even more in the next couple of weeks. In 2021, I brought my swim down from a 27-minute 1500 to a 24-minute 1500 in just 10 weeks between Bedfordshire and London. And I really think that with the amount of swimming I've been doing recently and the time that I've got left till my first triathlon of 2022, there's no reason why I'm not going to be swimming under 20 minutes come those races. If you want more details about my swimming improvements in the off season, once again, I've done a full video about it. I think my main takeaways from this year is just the fact that I love triathlon. I love training, I love racing. There's nothing I'd rather do. I can train for training's sakes, but boy, racing is amazing, and I want to get more experience in races that are competitive with other people. I want to have battles like we see the pros do. That's really what I'm itching to get more experience in. Towards the end of the year, I really realised that I let myself go, and I let myself go easy in hard training sessions, and I need other people to be accountable, which is why I'm doing so much group training at the moment, to have people who are better than me at the individual sports push me harder so that I can be better than the rest at all three. I really want triathlon to be a full part of my life, whether that be through racing or through YouTube, and preferably both. And I've got massive things coming for 2022, so stay tuned to the channel, hit that subscribe button, all the good things, because you're not going to want to miss out on what an incredible year 2022 is going to be. But that's it for this video. Like I said, hit subscribe if you want to follow me on what's going to be a sick year. Follow my journey. Like this if you enjoyed it. Let me know what kind of other videos you want to see down in the comments below, or if you've got anything else that you think that I could have done better this year. And on screen now, there are a playlist of all my race day videos. So if you want to see any of the races that I've talked about, then hit that up and that'll be a really good resource. Thank you for watching.